Do you know that you do not need to spend hours writing emails, Instagram captions, and wholesale promos every month? You can actually batch all of your marketing content in under an hour. No more blank docs, no more I'll just post later. Just swipe, tweak, and go. The Product Marketing Bank is your marketing shortcut. A done for you vault of high converting email copy, promo templates, sales strategies, and social media hooks. Custom built for wholesale brands. And yes, you'll even be shown exactly how to repurpose everything for your direct to consumer audience, saving you hours of time and energy. The Marketing Bank helps you show up with strategic seasonal content exactly when your retailers are planning their buys. If you're tired of Googling, what do I even say in this email? It's time to let the Product Marketing Bank do the heavy lifting for you. Join now at productmarketingbank.com. So if you don't walk away with anything else today, what I want you to remember is that following up actually serves your customers. Following up is serving and leading your customers well. Hi, friends. Welcome to She Sells Differently, the show for aspiring women entrepreneurs looking to overcome the fear of selling and grow thriving businesses from a place of authenticity and confidence. I'm Andee Hart, and it wasn't all that long ago that I was a sales executive for a Fortune 500 company. But I knew in my heart that I was called to use my gifts for something more, something different. That's exactly why I created the She Sells Differently podcast. Each episode is going to deliver you business strategies, tools, and mindset shifts to help set you and your brand apart from our culture's expectations. It's time to elevate your sales and build a profitable, sustainable business you're proud of, one built on integrity, grace, and humility. It's time to learn how to sell differently. Welcome to She Sells Differently. In the month of June, I am hosting a podcast series called My Burn Book of Bad Sales Advice. This is the unapologetic series where I'm calling out all of the outdated, cringeworthy, flat out false sales advice that is holding you back. If you have ever been told to just post more to sell more, manifest your next sale, just discount your product, this is the permission slip to throw it out the window and let's build something better. Every episode, I am breaking down the myths, we are reframing our mindset, and I am delivering clear confidence-building strategies that actually work in today's sales landscape. Friends, there is no bro marketing tips here, no fluff, just bold, heart-led selling done differently. Now, last week was our first episode in the Burn Book series, and I talked about how you have to stop using discounts to fix what strategy should be solving. So if you missed that, go check it out. It's episode 169. This week, here is my Burn Book hot take. Following up isn't annoying unless you are. Following up isn't annoying unless you are. If you have ever hesitated to follow up with a customer because you didn't want to seem annoying, this episode is your reframe. And I want you to stick around because at the end, I'm going to give you my exact follow-up script that I use that feels kind, clear, and closes the gap without the cringe. Here's the reality in the world of sales advice. We have been taught by experience, by our own experience, that following up is pushy. Because so often when we have been followed up with by salespeople, it has felt uncomfortable, unnatural, and very pushy. And so, of course, because we find that behavior so repelling, we want to ensure that we don't embody that behavior as well when we are selling our own products and services. And then we have been taught that not hearing a response from a potential customer means that they're not interested, or even worse, that if they wanted to buy our product or our service, they would have bought it immediately. But that is not how real buyers operate. And so today we're going to shift that mindset. We're going to burn that lie to the ground, and we're going to talk about how following up in sales is not annoying, but it's much more powerful. It's actually being intentional in leading the sale. I find this stat from Brevet interesting in that 80% of sales actually require 5 or more follow-ups. 80% of sales require 5 or more follow-ups, but over 44% of people give up after 1 follow-up. And I believe that the reason that we don't follow up is because we are afraid of rejection. We're internalizing that people-pleasing. And as I mentioned before, we have past experiences with people that have been selling to us with that gross follow-up sales energy that feels spammy or aggressive, and we want to be nothing like that. Here's the truth. Most people, most buyers, most customers are distracted. They're not disinterested. They're just distracted. And think about all of the times when you have been wanting to make a purchase, but your kids needed you, or you received a phone call, or fill in the blank. You got distracted and you never came back to make that purchase. I can't tell you how many times I have followed up with a retailer that I was pitching my candles to, and they actually thanked me for following up. They thanked me for following up because I was selling in such a way that was clear, and they wanted to make a purchase, but they got distracted and they forgot. And they were thanking me for reminding them. In this situation, following up is actually serving your customers. Following up is actually serving your customers and intentionally leading them in the sales process. Okay, so we've talked about how following up actually helps serve your clients and how a lot of potential customers are not ignoring you, they just get distracted. So the importance of following up and that mindset shift that we have to have of why following up is actually serving your customers and leading them in the sales process. Now I want to shift and let's talk about how many buyers, and many of them are smart buyers, they take time to make a decision. I have an earlier podcast episode, and I'll link it in the show notes, but I talk about 4 types of buyers. And it's important to understand and speak to each of these types of buyers. Some will make a decision quickly, some will take time, and your job is to stay top of mind. Your job is to stay top of mind. As I mentioned earlier in the episode, 80% of sales require 5 or more follow-ups. This is an immediate way that you can set yourself apart in a crowded marketplace. This is an immediate way that you can set yourself apart simply by following up. Not only that, but following up, it shows confidence and it shows leadership. It says to your customer, I believe in what I have to offer and I am not afraid to remind you. So when you are consistent and you are thoughtful in your follow-up, it helps to move your customer past that indecision phase. It helps answer any lingering doubts they may have. And not only that, but it helps create trust in the process. When I was a brand new sales director in my corporate days, I was not even necessarily looking for a leadership coach, but I had someone reach out to me and set up a discovery call. And her name is Linda. She's actually been a guest on this podcast. And when I first engaged with Linda on a call, I did not sign up for her services right away. It probably took me a month or two. But one thing Linda did is she stayed in touch with me. She offered value, and she checked in and showed genuine interest in my goals and where I was in my process of making a decision and how she could help. She showed up with confidence, she showed up with leadership, and she showed up in a way that told me, I believe in what I have to offer, and I'm not afraid to remind you. And as a result, I signed up for her coaching program, and she delivered 110%. Now, you may be saying to me, Andee, that's great. I don't sell leadership coaching. I sell candles, or I sell jewelry, or I sell low ticket items. How do I do that with my product or my service? Listen, it is the same process no matter what you are selling. Whether you're selling in person, or you're selling email, or you're selling via email, or you're selling via social media, your words matter. And using your words with intention and purpose to convey trust and value and confidence in what you have to offer will translate to your customer. The key is that you have to show up and follow up with that customer. Now, let's make it real here. How do you follow up and help them move past the indecision? I'm going to give you 3 tips that you can get some quick wins here when you follow up so that you can do so in a way that doesn't feel weird, unnatural, or gross. First thing first, you make it about the customer, not about you, not about your urgency. You make it about the customer and the transformation and the benefits that you provide them. You've heard this said before, but naturally as humans, we love thinking about ourselves. We are selfish creatures, and so we really don't care about what's in it for you. We care about what's in it for ourselves. So your follow-up methods, whatever sales channel you are working through, needs to be focused on your customer. What's in it for them? Second, I always clearly restate the value. I never say, hey, just checking in. If you want to sound like every other follow-up email, that's a surefire way to do so. To say, hey, just following up, or hey, just checking in. But if you send a follow-up email that confidently and clearly restates the value that you bring to your potential customer, that is showing up with confidence and reminding your customer that you believe in your product or your service, and you're building trust in the process. So first, make it about the customer. Second, clearly restate your value. And third, offer a clear next step, not just a vague, let me know your thoughts, or let me know if you're ready to move forward. Offer a clear next step. I always teach my clients to assume the sale. You should be so confident in your product or service that you assume the partnership and that they are going to want to work with you. And this leads me to the exact follow-up script that I use to follow up with kindness, with clarity, and let's be real, without the cringe. And time and again, it helps me to secure the sale. Here's what that follow-up looks like. Based on our prior conversation, you mentioned a desire to expand your product line to carry more locally made items. Not only are my candles locally made, but I'm happy to deliver them myself and save you the shipping charges as well. I know that every penny counts when you're a small business owner. When you're ready, you can place your order at the link below. I look forward to working with you, and I'm happy to answer any additional questions you may have. So you can see with that follow-up framework, I made it about them and addressed her desire to expand her product line to carry more locally made items. Now you can change this. Obviously based on the scenario. And then I clearly restated my value of my product that I am offering her. And then I offered a clear next step on how she can place an order. And I assumed the partnership with confidence. It's kind, it's clear, it's confident, and it is reminding this potential customer that I'm here, I believe in my product, and I know it would provide value to their business as well. So as we wrap up, I want to challenge you to do a quick follow-up audit in your sales process. Quick follow-up audit. Who have you left hanging because you are afraid of being too much, afraid of being too pushy? And what are 3 conversations that you could revisit this week with clarity and next steps? What are 3 conversations you could revisit this week and offer clarity and next steps? I want to challenge you to do that this week and let me know in the show notes. There is a link that you can provide feedback. I would love to know if you revisit any of your conversations and follow up using the tips that you've learned in today's episode and share with me your wins. So if you don't walk away with anything else today, what I want you to remember is that following up actually serves your customers. Following up is serving and leading your customers well. That's it for today's episode. I'm going to be back with another episode next Wednesday, part of our Burn Book of Bad Sales Advice series happening in June. And I'm going to be talking about why posting more on social media is not your key to more sales. So tune in next week and we will dive into that. Until next time, I am cheering you on. All right, that's a wrap on today's episode of She Sells Differently. Friends, it would be a huge blessing to me if you would take 2 seconds to rate and subscribe to my podcast. New episodes drop every Wednesday. Until then, I'm cheering you on in your entrepreneurial journey. See you next time.